The media here in Canada has a very clear bias for Trudeau and Pierre Poilievre. You have reporters that are always, historically, have been providing softball questions to Justin Trudeau, and it's easy alley-oops or layups for him. But on the other side of the spectrum, you have reporters being really harsh towards Pierre Poilievre. And he has held his weight very, very well. Pierre has shocked the political world here in Canada by being a wizard on his feet. You see this every single day that the House of Commons is in session when he goes and debates Justin Trudeau or all the Liberals. He can walk circles around them. And as many times as the reporters or the mainstream media has tried to attack Pierre, they have also failed just as many times. And now you have breakfast television shows, morning television shows that are commenting on this type of behavior, and it's really unfortunate that they don't see this type of bias. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. They pick and choose when they actually support Pierre and when they support Trudeau, and it's just very, very confusing. So that's what we're going to take a look at today, because Sid from breakfast television has been a fence sitter. I think he's a closeted conservative. I'm going to go out and say it. I think Sid from breakfast television is a closeted conservative. I think that he's too afraid to come out fully and say, I endorse Pierre Poilievre and I dislike Justin Trudeau and the Liberals for what they've done. But that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage everyone to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It does really help grow the channel. And just a gentle reminder, this is indeed the extra channel, and I would really appreciate it if you guys showed this channel the same love that you do all the others. And I have just turned on channel memberships here on this channel, and YouTube is actually running this like super interesting promo where everyone who joins the channel membership program, they actually match it 1-for-1. So that's super interesting, and that's just another way of supporting the channel. If you've ever been thinking about doing that, now will be a phenomenal time to do so. And without further ado, let's get into this video here.
So it felt like longer ago. So last Wednesday, that accident at the border took place.
Yes.
Where there was the vicious car accident with the Bentley, and no one in the moment knew what was going on. Not you, I, our elected officials, nobody knew. So I'm following that like everyone else as it's happening. And question period begins 2:15 in the House of Commons in Ottawa. And Pierre Poilievre, who's up, depending on which poll you look at, anywhere from 12 to 15 points up in the polls on our current prime minister, gets up as official leader of the opposition and would like an update. Fair question. The second point Pierre Poilievre raised was he said, according to broadcast reports, this was a terrorist attack. I was following that story like everyone else in the moment. And one of the rare moments, we all kind of knew the same thing roughly, because no one knew anything. The only outlet that was reporting a terrorist attack at that time was Fox News. I know that because I was on it like everyone else. So Pierre Poilievre got up in question period and cited this report. Now, the next day, in an exchange with a Canadian press reporter, he was asked if that was appropriate for a member of the official opposition to just toss around media reports when really Justin Trudeau and his cabinet were learning on the fly what was going on here. And the exchange was fascinating. Take a look.
Do you think it was responsible for you to call yesterday's explosion by the checkpoint at the Rainbow Bridge terrorism when no U.S. or Canadian officials said that was or authorities said that was the case, and when the New York governor also said there was no evidence to suggest terrorism activity?
Actually, you're wrong. You're with CP? Okay, so CP, by the way, CP, just for everyone's knowledge, did have to make 3 corrections for falsehoods that they put into a single article. I think that might be unprecedented. I'm actually thinking about checking with the Guinness Book of World Records to see if there's ever been a news agency that has had to issue 3 corrections for patent falsehoods that they admit they had been made in one single article, and now you've made yet another falsehood in your question.
He went on to cite the CTV report in terms of what he was raising in the House of Commons. CTV had not released a report at that point. They did about 20 minutes after that. But in the moment, again, this was a Fox News report, and I understand.
First of all, Sid, if you want to be taken seriously, you can't sit on national television next to 2 women and both the guys, at least the guy here on the right, has a bit more of a He's doing a square with his legs, but Sid is taking the full-on Trudeau approach. And look, I get it. Soy boys can sit like that because packages do come in all sizes, and in this case, quite small. But you want to be taken seriously, Sid? Don't sit like that.
Point. They did about 20 minutes after that. But in the moment, again, this was a Fox News report, and I understand someone who wants to be the prime minister of the country not wanting to be the Fox News citing person. I get that. But that's how that played out. Who would like first dibs at this?
I'll start by just saying that there has been, over the last few years, this consistent attack on the media. And right there, that question was asked. Instead of addressing the question itself, it goes on to attack the agency, being CP, which Canadian press, if you don't know, they fuel a lot of stories here throughout the country with amazing journalists who vet everything. And if there is a retraction that needs to be made for any reason, there is no hesitancy to do that. And I think what that exchange shows is that there is this pressure or this consistent narrative that the media is putting out falsehoods on purpose.
The media is putting falsehoods out on purpose. There is not a single Canadian out there who is saying, I am happy that grocery prices are where they are. I'm happy that gas prices are where they are. I'm happy that we haven't had increase in wages in a very long time. And I'm happy with how high our interest rates and inflation has become, which overall would make me happy with how the government has managed this country. Not a single freaking person in this entire country can say that. You want to know why? Because the media is putting out falsehoods. The media every single day should be doing their job and regurgitating what the Canadian general public is saying, that holy actual crap, this country has gone down the toilet. It is so expensive. It is so poorly managed that's why you have all of these failed policies, all these failed social programs, all this horrible, horrible deficit spending that's going on. So the media isn't doing that. There go, ipso de facto, they are putting out falsehoods. If you are the media and you're not addressing something that everybody knows is happening, that everybody knows is going on, you are part of the problem. And that's why people are so fed up and so pissed off with the media, is that even though they don't every single day or every single week mention how difficult it is for Canadians to survive day to day in this country, that is poor reporting. That's not the reality. And ignoring that makes you complicit in this liberal agenda and liberal failures. And that's why people are freaking pissed off. Part of the reason.
And this whole fake news situation that we've been hearing about, ever since the pandemic began, it's just something that's being fed. And I don't agree at all, obviously, as someone who does news every day and knows how much we do try to check and verify things before they're being said out loud. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, what's interesting with that too, completely agree, Tammy. It's not just what was said, it's also sort of how it was being said and the tone in which it was being said. I mean, it's one thing if that's the opinion that he holds, but the tone didn't work for me when I was listening to it. It was aggressive in a way that isn't appealing when you're thinking about leadership and you're thinking about dissent and you're thinking about conversations that need to happen. So it was the way it was said too that caused me some pause.
Devo?
I would say the reporter, and my apologies, I don't recall the person's name right now, but the way she asked the question was incredible. She said, do you think it was responsible? That was the question. He already premeditated what he wanted to say to CP.
Oh, he was bracing.
Because you don't rhyme
sure.
off what you just rhymed off without having that ready to go. So he knew as soon as she asked the question that was going to be his response, no matter what. He was just waiting for a moment to attack. Some people like that in their leader, to be condescending and aggressive with their words. We've seen that south of the border. That doesn't work for me. I'm not a big fan of that.
We can tell right there with your earrings that you're not a fan of facts being brought to the table. Pierre Poilievre is not like Trump. Trump is certainly more aggressive. He's certainly more dominant and has a more right-wing style. Things that I have said before that I endorse. I like that approach because we've been stuck with these soy boy leaders for so long. Pierre Poilievre is not anywhere near as aggressive or assertive as Donald Trump. He is extremely factual. He does provide that presence, and he doesn't, when he talks, he doesn't have that more empathetic, liberal, progressive approach. But Pierre Poilievre is still quite progressive. Our right-wing conservative group here in Canada is hardly right-wing. I'd actually call it left of center, maybe center, but not even right of center, maybe socially, but not fiscally. And so the fact that we don't even really have a true right-wing group here in Canada, it just goes to show, man, this guy is this they, them, this thing, this person right here, this flesh is just such a freaking wuss. Such a wuss. And this is the majority of Canadians, or a lot of Canadians, not the majority, a lot of Canadians, all these NDP and Liberal supporters. You go, Pierre is he's too attacky with his words. Oh, how could he? He's not. If you close your eyes, if you even don't even listen, if you just had a transcript and no name was attached to what Pierre Poilievre says and what Justin Trudeau says, and you read it in your own voice, in your own head, aloud, whatever it was, you would see that Pierre Poilievre's version of that transcript, you would find out after who said what. You would guarantee 99% of people would prefer what Pierre Poilievre has to say. But because he's not Justin Trudeau, because the media has portrayed him as this right-wing conspiracy theorist, people go into it with a bias, and it's just so freaking annoying. It's so freaking annoying. And we're heading into the most important, pivotal moment in Canadian history.
But you didn't answer the question, dude. She just asked if it was responsible. You didn't answer yes or no on that.
Yeah, I'm with you. The polls out.
That's so rich. These people going, oh, how dare you not answer with a yes or no? When Pierre Poilievre has asked a bajillion, quintillion, times to Justin Trudeau, yes or no, is this something that you are doing? He's asked that in the House, he's asked that in press conferences, and you never get an answer. You never get an answer to what the question is. Indirectly, directly, you never get an answer. So it's so hypocritical for these people to go, oh, Pierre Poilievre didn't answer the question the way we wanted him to, when Justin Trudeau fails to do that every single time he breathes air. Give me a freaking break, man.
That are out right now, we've cited them numerous times. These are not I love Pierre Poilievre polls. These are Trudeau fatigue numbers, plus the economy. This is not rocket science, okay? Secondly, how many media do you think, Tam, on a daily basis during a Canadian federal election follows a party leader every day? What would you say?
Oh, gosh. I would say at least 20.
At minimum.
Minimum, yeah.
You're in a bigger city?
Yeah.
Maybe double it? If that's the reaction on a November day, 2 years out from an election, I am fascinated to see what he's like when he's really on that political rotisserie. And the country's really taking a look at what this is going to be like. As a voter in the GTA, and we matter here, as a voter in the GTA, that's a level of exhaustion day in and day out I don't need in a party leader. Say what you want about Justin Trudeau. He's not perfect. I don't get that tone a lot. And I don't need that tone. I've seen that tone with our neighbors. I don't need that tone at all. So someone who has a vested interest in him becoming prime minister really has to, what's the phrase, you better talk to him? Somebody needs to talk to him. Because he's been in the House of Commons since he's been like 24. Like, that's the speed he knows. Like, that's been his life experience as a professional. Finally, I need to know when you're talking to China as a leader of this country, or India, or when NATO is saying you're not paying enough for military, or Joe Biden, what's that going to be like? If that gets under your skin, are you kidding me?
Come on, Sid. Are you freaking kidding me and us Canadians? Who are you trying to fool? Justin Trudeau constantly is condescending to America, saying we are way better than America in every single way. So that's not how a Canadian leader, which is completely defenseless, should be approaching the world's biggest superpower. Justin Trudeau has picked fights with India constantly and China, and he loses. Where you have on a weekly basis, India media is constantly saying Trudeau destroyed, and oh my God, this next controversy, Trudeau's plane got grounded because he apparently had some illicit drugs on his plane, right? Allegedly. Are you freaking kidding me? Justin Trudeau's cabinet, you got 11 traitors in the cabinet that are allegedly paid by Xi Jinping from China. Are you freaking kidding me? And you want to go and say, oh, Pierre Poilievre might be a loose cannon? Give me a break. Who are you trying to kid here, Sid? Like, it's not even a serious television show at this morning. All right, Jesus. It's not even a serious morning television at this time for you to make those claims. Like, read your script. Read your script, boy. Get your paycheck. Read your script. But your viewership is down because you are regurgitating this same lack of critical thinking that most, if not all, mainstream media and news outlets are saying. You are part of the problem. You are complicit in being a complete dumbass, Sid. Oh, my goodness. Now, I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit when you actually criticize Justin Trudeau and the Liberal government for the failures, but you seem to just ignore them right now in your little speech. It doesn't make any sense. Well, how could Pierre Poilievre? I want to make sure Pierre can handle himself when he's talking to other countries. Give me a freaking break. Trudeau has ruined his relationship with every single country out there. So don't freaking get me started on that. Holy smokes. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're going to end this video. I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Let me know what you think of Sid. And of course, on your way out, I'd like to encourage you guys one last time to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet already, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.